Merchants Bank. First Merchants Bank, helping you prosper.
Put it in the upper right-hand corner, just like a postage stamp. That's a good bingo.
Get ready to learn more about the Columbus Blue Jackets players and coaches, as well as find out what's going on this week in the NHL. Now let's join Bob McElligott and Jody Shelley for the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank.
Welcome to sunny California. That's where we bring you today's edition of the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank. The Blue Jackets opened their 4-game West Coast swing last night with an overtime loss in San Jose. They fell to the Sharks by the score of 2-1. Jody, it was one of those games where there was a hot goaltender that you were going up against, a young San Jose team that I thought was really aggressive in the way that they attacked the Blue Jackets and just came after them. And one of those nights where you could get on the board, but you just couldn't quite get enough.
A hot goaltender is right. Vitek Vanacek, 9-0 against the Blue Jackets in his career, and he was the reason why the San Jose Sharks won the game. The Blue Jackets, you know, it's an 8-game trip. You want to get 5 points, and they picked up one last night, one where they probably started the game thinking it was going to be a little easier. But the Sharks were coming off a tough loss themselves, and they were heightened a little bit. And I thought it was just a back-and-forth game. And for the Blue Jackets, I was impressed with, you know, the 3-hour time change is a real thing. I mean, when you start a game and your body feels like it's 10:30 at night or 10:45 by the time the puck hit the ice, it's just a little different. But they didn't show any sign of that, and they grinded through it. Elvis had a good game. It was a more scrambly game. Like, you play against Winnipeg and Washington, you feel a little more smothered. You know, you can't make those plays. You don't really feel the puck. You feel like every time you get it, someone's right on you. But I thought last night there was more gaps, more areas, more rebound chances, and credit the goaltender. That's going to happen throughout the season. Now, this team had an excellent October. They were in a wild card position at a week ago, and you know, now going 0-2-1 the last 3, it puts more emphasis on the next 2 games, L.A. and Anaheim. And, you know, that's really, you want to be in the picture here in 2 weeks. And this is a critical moment. And you think of the road games they have, and when we go home for 1, and then we go home and play Pittsburgh on, what's that, Friday?
Yep.
And then we're in Montreal the next night. And, you know, it's kind of an extended road trip in that sense. But for them now, this team out in California, everyone talks about bonding, and that's all great. That's important. I think a lot of bonding has already been done with the way they're coming into this season and the tragedy they've been dealing with and how they've been helping each other. I think that this type of bonding is it's a little more, you know, kind of a getaway, if you will, but the focus has got to be on Saturday night, sorry. It's only Wednesday. We don't play till Saturday. Saturday night against the LA Kings. That's got to be the focus of the week here.
I don't remember the last time. I'm sure there was a time in my 15 previous seasons that we were out here and had some time off in between games. I just can't remember it because you get so used to coming out here and playing 3 games in 4 or 5 days between the Kings, the Ducks, and the Sharks. And now this year they've added Seattle to this trip, so which makes sense, right? Which I like, actually, to be completely honest with you, because they've had in the last couple of seasons, Vancouver and Seattle have been paired together, and that sounds like it's easy because they're very close, but you got to cross the border, and if you got to back-to-back, you're playing, and then you're crossing the border, and it's painful.
And there's an advantage there, too, that they look at, right? Because if every team goes and does the same thing, then you're playing. We saw it earlier where it's always a back-to-back with one of those 2 teams, Edmonton, Calgary, or, you know, those situations, L.A., Anaheim. So, yeah, they're just starting to figure that out. I agree with you.
Yeah. So, but anyway, let's talk about the Sharks for a second here, because when you looked at their record going in last night, they were 3-8-2. But when you broke it down, they had a very, very rough start to the season. What were they, 0-7-2 to start the season? Then they went on a 3-game winning streak, and then they had that loss that you talked about previous to last night's game against the Blue Jackets. What did you think of that team and the way that they're put together? I know they're in that full rebuild that Mike Grier has them in right now as the general manager, but when you looked at their roster, I was kind of like, well, if you're going to rebuild and you can take a couple of first-round picks, one a top overall guy, Macklin Celebrini this year, and Will Smith, who went 4th overall the previous year, and filter in guys like Luke Cunnin and Tyler Toffoli, and I mean legitimate NHL players. It's not like I didn't look at their roster and be like, oh, well, I kind of remember that guy from somewhere. those guys were all like legit. They've played somewhere a good amount of games in the NHL.
Yeah, Cody Ceci played his 800th game last night, and that's important. You're going to have the first overall pick. He's got to learn from some really good people, and I think that I was pleasantly surprised at their roster with the amount of veterans they had. That's not the team that's going to take them to the next step, but it's going to put a good foundation down for them and for their young pieces. And I was impressed with the two big draft picks that you mentioned, Celebrini and Smith, who, Celebrini had a lighter night, but Smith was really, really noticeable.
Well, Celebrini's just coming back. That was his first game back in the lineup.
Yeah, we'll give him a pass. Yeah. Second game in his National Hockey League career. But you look at the two veteran goaltenders they have too, and especially Vanacek last night. The way he played, that's an important piece. You just don't want to lose because you're trying to do everything right and your goaltender can't make a save. It's nice to have a goaltender to cover things up when the system or the errors are made due to a young team with mixed bag of veterans, and that's what they have there. So that they're going to grind out a few wins. They're going to get more than their worst year, which was 11 wins, when head coach of the Blue Jackets was a player for the San Jose Sharks back in '93. Just think about that season, 11 wins. Yeah. So, no, they're going to do better than, I think last year they were they were just below 20, was it? They didn't have very, very many wins last year, but this is a team that wants to take some kind of step, and I think that's, and we're seeing in Columbus with the maturity of Fantilli, Sillinger, guys. Maybe Fantilli's still growing, but he's in his second year. Sillinger, Marchenko, Chinnikov. You're kind of seeing these guys now figure out what they are. Werenski even, the way he's playing now in his ninth year in the National Hockey League. So it takes time, and no one wants to hear that, but the San Jose Sharks understand that, but I like the way they've surrounded them with really good veterans.
Yeah, they really have. And you talked about their goaltending. They do have veteran goaltending. And then, Greer went out this summer and picked up Yaroslav Askarov from the Nashville Predators.
That's right.
They have him playing for their American Hockey League team right there in San Jose right now. And I talked to a guy the other day that said, this guy's great. He's unbelievable. Yeah. So, they're doing it right. And when I look at it, I feel the Blue Jackets have tried to do a soft rebuild, if that's fair to say, from the time when they were a playoff team each and every year for 4 years in a row. It's kind of been a soft transition and a rebuild, whereas the Sharks got forced to go hard and just kind of cut it all right down to the bare bones and start over again. But, starting up, they've just started over in a different way, I think.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. What I think, Columbus is a better team. They have better pieces, but for what they're trying to do in San Jose, they have some good pieces to build around. And you say soft rebuild. There's been a lot of pieces from that 16 team here in Columbus that are gone, that were part of that American Hockey League championship. And you look at the impact of those players in Washington now, who we just saw a few days ago, who won the Calder Cup a couple of years in a row and impacted that team and are now pieces around Ovechkin, which is really what they are. And that's where Pittsburgh's having a tough time, is they don't have that pedigree or that those players that define themselves as champions in the professional level to come in and seamlessly jump into a new system, or a system with a new coach, and play the way he wants to play. So that's what they've done well there, is they've found their identity in Washington, add pieces. What did they add? 8 pieces since last year to their roster, and kind of made a switch. They're not going to rebuild. But Pittsburgh, on the other hand, without the identity and understanding what players they need to have there, they're kind of wavering right now. And they have goaltender issues. And for Columbus, they're on a good path. When you feel players take steps, when you have players come in like Monahan, who are good veteran guys, and you see guys like Provorov and Severson and Werenski, those defense and the goaltending, everything seems to have taken a step to start this season. Yeah,
I agree with you on that. You are right. And I'd like to delve into so many of the things that you just talked about right there, because it's funny. You talk about Washington and the way that they've retooled. And yes, their American Hockey League team won a championship 2 years in a row. But how many of those guys were on that team? Because you know this from playing in that league. The Hershey Bears are a veteran AHL team. Yes, they're going to help Washington develop a guy here, there, maybe 3.
Yeah.
But they're about signing veteran AHL guys. They're there to win because they make their money by winning in Hershey. So Hendrix Lapierre, of course, he played there. Dylan McElrath was down there,
Captain.
right? He played there. So, but I mean, they've kind of done it different ways. Go out and get Mangiapane from Calgary,
Speed.
right?
Yeah.
And go out. They've kind of gone out and found their pieces. And then I do think that is a benefit because now you have guys. If you do have a young guy that's had great experience in the American League and has been a winner, just bring him right up.
Yeah, but 3 guys is great.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can get, there's only 6 spots in the top 6. If you can get one in there, that's great. If you can get mid to lower 6, that's great. And the forwards, and then the D. Can you get 2 guys, 1 guy? They got 1 guy in McElrath. To me, you have the young guys. Say you have 6 guys down there, are surrounded by veterans, or I don't know how many. There's a rule, so they can't be over so many games. But
yeah, what is it? I don't know if it's still 5. It used to be like 5 veterans you could have.
Yeah, I don't know what it is now, but there's something to that where. You groom those players to be adapt. A lot of guys come in from junior college or Europe, and they play one way, and they have to adjust. They're not going to take the puck coast to coast. They're not going to have the puck as much. They're not going to get on the power play. Maybe they get on the power play in the American League, but they have to play a certain way in the National Hockey League. And I think they've done a very good job of communicating with their players as to where they would fit in the roster, and put the pieces in. And I look at the Blue Jackets like Putia this year. Okay, there's a guy that took a step throughout the entire season, the playoffs last year for Cleveland, and then in training camp he played 7 of 8 games because he just kept getting better, and they just kept noticing him, and then they wanted to know if it was for real. And now he has a very important role as a smart forward for the Blue Jackets, and it's players like that. That's why you play in the American Hockey League. That the deep run last year for Cleveland. That's why that was important for all those players. They become closer together. They believe in the coach. They believe in what they're doing. They understand what it takes. And then they see players that they played with last year. Juracek is up. They see them up here. And I think that is a vital part of the growth of an organization. I think it's only going to get better.
The veteran rule in the American Hockey League is players with 261 to 320 professional games.
Yeah, okay, so there you go. There's a lot of players in that boat that would love to have the opportunity. And the one thing about getting high draft picks every year, and I go back to this, I just said it, there's only a certain amount of spots in the top 6. Mm-hmm. So if you're a top 5, top 10 pick, you don't adapt your game right away to be a 4th liner or a 3rd liner, penalty killer. Cole Sillinger did it on the fly. I mean, he fit in right when the depth chart got right with a 1-2-3 center. He fits in exactly right. He kills penalties, he wins faceoffs, and he's on a line that can produce when they need him. So you see those adjustments, you find those roles, and if you have a bunch of guys that want to play in the top 6 and they don't fit, then you try to start moving those for assets. And, I think Washington has done that. I think Washington has moved some of those pieces and done a good job. I think Pittsburgh has really got I don't know how they're going to get out of this. They've got some all-stars. They have Crosby. They've really just got pieces around that aren't playing with him. And then when you look at San Jose, you see a complete rebuild that has a future. You see that the guys that they surrounded Celebrini around, they're going to help him now, but mostly in the future. And like Chicago's the same thing.
Right.
You get Connor Bedard, you grab Nick Foligno and Corey Perry and good grizzled veterans to say, all right, there's a lot you need to learn away from carrying the puck and off the ice, and those things are critical.
Yeah, we always talk about guys going to the American Hockey League to get that kind of experience.
Yeah.
Well, you can
be
get
on the
it,
bus.
Right, but you can get it surrounded by the right guys in the National Hockey League.
Of course.
And that is today's game. I want to talk to you about some of the guys you alluded to on this Blue Jackets team, and the good starts that they've gotten off to, and how that's going to help them going along here. But first, I want to tell you, choose the games that you want this season, including the upcoming matchup against the Pittsburgh Penguins on November the 15th with the Pick 6 Flex Plan. It's presented by Franklin University. If you purchase your plan before December 9th, you receive a bonus ticket to see the Blue Jackets take on the Flyers on December the 10th. Get yours by going to bluejackets.com/pick6. This is the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank here on 97.1 The Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
Okay, name? Occupation? Great. You get a brand new Kia. for less than lunch, under $5 a day at Great Lakes Kia.
Is that a turkey?
Of course, we're talking turkey. With event pricing and the Credit Approve-a-thon.
Wow, and new Kias are less than lunch?
Yes, under $5 a day. Lease new 24 Kia Forte LXS, EV6 Wind, and Sorento LX. All three under $5 a day.
Wow, that's only $139 a month for 24 months.
Plus new 24 Kia Telluride LX under $8 a day.
$249 for 24 months.
He just got an EV6 with 0% financing.
Lucky goose.
Turkey.
Turkey, right. But I'd never get approved.
If you've got a job, you ride.
You guys are great.
Great cars, great people. Great Lakes Kia.
In Columbus.
GreatLakesKia.com.
GreatLakesKia.com.
You're such a ham.
To qualified buyers, visit GreatLakesKia.com for details.
Hey folks, Austin Ward here, and we all know consistency is key in sports. Think about it. No matter how many points you put up in one game, it's the team that stays consistent that ends up winning a championship. The problem? Consistency is hard. For years, that's how I felt about my weight. I'd start strong, but could never stay the course. Then I found Awaken 180 weight loss, and now consistency isn't just a word, it's my reality. Let's take a look at the scoreboard. After dropping 12 pounds in my first week, I went on to lose 52 pounds total. Lost weight every week. Since then, the scoreboard has read the same every single month. October, 189 pounds. September, 189 pounds. August, 190. Okay, maybe a pound off. July, yeah, 189. The weight just stays off, and for free. Awaken 180 clients don't pay a dime in free maintenance for life. It's like free oil changes for the rest of your life. If you're looking for results that last, do what we all did and choose the solution for weight loss. It's online at awaken180weightloss.com.
You want a sub freshly sliced to order? You go to Jersey Mike's. You want the perfect radio idea? You go to me. Like this. I'm a lone ninja warrior. By night I glide unseen across the rooftops, watching my enemies from the shadows. By day, I go to Jersey Mike's, watching someone freshly slice my sub. My blade is called Shadow. His blade is a Berserba brand meat slicer. Clearly, I have much to learn about this land. Freshly sliced just for you. Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Here at The Fan, we give you 14 hours of live and local programming every day. We care about you. We live and work in your community. Except Bo Bishop. He won't tell us where the hell he is. Your live and local station. Except Bo. The Fan.
Fall is here and so are cooler temps. And are you craving some slow roasted turkey and dressing yet? Me? Bobby Carpenter. I love Thanksgiving. I just don't love it at Thanksgiving time. I love it all year long. And so the more I can get it, the better it is. So at Bob Evans, you don't have to wait to Thanksgiving to be able to enjoy their delicious turkey that's been slow roasted for 6 hours. Their turkey and dressing dinner plate is available any day for just $8.99. Or you can even try the turkey and dressing family meal to go at bobevans.com.
1877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Let's talk interest rates. Not that kind of interest. I mean interest in you. At First Merchants Bank, we are 100% interested in your success. Our bankers provide a level of attentiveness unlike any other. We're here to get to know you and to be a helpful partner in your financial success. Aren't you tired of your bank just saying they care about your business? Make the switch to First Merchants Bank and feel the difference of real, honest interest in you. First Merchants Bank. For a better banking experience, visit firstmerchants.com/switch, helping you prosper.
Bread Financial is proud to be the official financial services partner of your Columbus Blue Jackets. They provide simple, personalized payment, lending, and saving solutions. From the Bread Cashback American Express credit card to high-yield savings and CDs to buy now, make that score now, pay later options, you'll find financial solutions for your budget and your goals, hockey or otherwise. Learn more at breadfinancial.com. And let's go Blue Jackets.
You hear that crunch? It's not just any crunch. It's cheesy to the edge crust that only comes from a Jets Detroit-style pizza. Hand-pressed dough topped with premium mozzarella, the freshest ingredients, and ladled with Mama Jet's secret sauce. Then baked to perfection in steel pans born on Motor City lines. I bet you're real hungry now. Go ahead. Visit jetspizza.com for daily hot deals. Jets. Better because it has to be.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
A few leftover sprinkles, otherwise a bit of sunshine to finish off your Wednesday. Temperatures in the mid-60s, down to the upper 40s overnight with partly cloudy skies. More sunshine by Thursday afternoon and temperatures back in the low 60s. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
All Blue Jackets, all the time. This is the Inside Edge with Jody Shelley and Bob McElligott. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Welcome back to the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank. The Blue Jackets with a couple of days off in California. They'll be back on the ice on Saturday night in Los Angeles to take on the Kings, and then they're going to play the very next day in Anaheim against the Ducks. I'm Bob McElligott with Jody Shelley. Jody, we were talking about some of the Blue Jackets players that have they've taken a step in their development and in their careers. And Zach Werenski, I thought in that game last night, look, he's been noticeable every game this year, okay? But I thought last night he was really noticeable in the way he played. I asked Dean Evison about it during the postgame last night. I said, it seemed like Zach was just out there doing everything. And he said, well, he played half the game, so of course he was visible to you last night. But the fact of the matter is they can put him out there for half a game right now, and they can get that productivity out of Zach Werenski. And because of injuries the last couple of years, that hasn't been the case. A healthy Zach Werenski, and maybe I forgot how good he is when he is 100%, but this guy has been, in my opinion, lights out on the blue line.
Well, and the system is, he loves playing this defensive type of system. Last year, he was asked to stay in front of the net and box guys out and not go jump in the corner and pressure pucks and try to steal them and get up the ice, which he's so good at. So it's a different system, and he's healthy and he's energized and he's changed his diet and he's lost weight. He's taken a big step as a pro, and he looked like he could have played another 15 minutes. I mean, there was a segment there where he was on for almost 2 minutes. There was a TV timeout. He played the next shift. It was a long one. And then there was San Jose called the timeout, and then he stayed out again. So he didn't come off the ice. And that's the value for Steve McCarthy, defensive coach, of having a guy that he was a D partner with in the American Hockey League and understands his capabilities and in games and what he's thinking and where he's valuable. He makes plays. He makes players better. He makes plays happen, and he controls the play when he's on the ice. He's an all-star, and he's taking his game to another level. And, you know, little things for Zach and little plays he makes and how he's getting his shot through. You can tell he's having fun. He's confident, and he just makes it look easy. And that's a sign of a superstar. So for the Blue Jackets, and that piece that I think has taken a major step is, in a one-goal game, down by one, tied at one, that tells you he's a complete player, because defensively, his skating ability, the way he reads the play, those tight situations, he's out there to get the next goal, but also help defend. And I mean, those things. And the way the forwards back check, and you hear every team talk about this, you have to track back. And track back means when the puck is going back towards your end, you have got to be support for the defensemen so they can be aggressive. And so the forwards are there for Zach and all the defensemen so they can jump up. And he's a great example of a defenseman needs, of course, to be healthy, but needs to be aware of kind of the situations in game and how to play the system. It's all got to click for him to have this freedom to play how he's playing right now.
Why would you ever ask Zach Werenski to be the guy to be in front of the net?
That's not our department.
I mean, that is like like having the sports car that you shine up all the time and you never take out of the garage. You never drive it, right?
Yeah, that's right. Or you only drive it first. Right. You know, first gear. So, yeah, you got to get that thing humming. Let it fly. And he's flying right now.
He is. And, you know, you look at, the situation. There's some big tournaments coming up. I mean, you've got that Four Nations tournament.
That's on his mind.
And you've got the Olympics, and Bill Guerin is the GM for both of those things. Mike Sullivan's a head coach for both of those teams, which the Blue Jackets will see the Penguins when they get home for that one game, as you said earlier in the show. So, yeah, he should be opening their eyes.
He is. He'll be on that team.
Yeah, for sure.
He's elite.
He should be on that team and have a big role on that team.
He will. He's elite. I mean, the game is about speed and anticipation and skating ability and durability, and Zach has it all.
All right, Cole Sillinger, another guy you talked about. Again, you just love how he plays. Look at his very short time in the NHL. He had that great rookie season, kind of took a step back in his second year, but last year he came back strong again, looking like he did as a rookie. And this year, I just love the fact that they started him in the middle. He was playing well at center. Now they need a little bit of support on the wing. They've moved him to the wing. Doesn't matter who he's playing with. Doesn't matter what position he's playing. You just get the same thing out of Cole game after game after game.
And you watch that adjustment. I was talking about the center ice depth chart. I was thinking about Cole as a centerman, but he has moved to the wing, and that's how it's different. You don't touch the puck as much. You're not involved in the play as much. You start from a standstill a long time as an anchor on the wall as the puck is there on a breakout or in the neutral zone. But I think he's starting to figure it out, and I think it clicked last night. He was flying out there last night, and to see him understand that, okay, when I don't have the puck, I have to be full speed in to support or forecheck. You're not the low guy in the defensive zone, so you do get a head start in a lot of different situations. And, it just speaks to his maturity and his growth. And remember the first year when he was here, Brad Larson was just raving about the kid's maturity and how his self-evaluation and how he was very realistic about what he could be and how he did in games and didn't do in practices and whatever it was. So those things all indicate to you that this guy's ready to play pro in year one, which he was. And now he is that pro that's becoming almost a versatile guy where he's killing penalties, he's on the power play, he's playing a great role in a wing, whatever he's asked to do. Those are the good people you have in your organizations that make things happen. And I think he's a great story. He's a good guy for Adam Fantilli to watch and be around as a young guy as well, just because, there's a maturity there, but there's also a team-first mentality. And as a young player after your first year, you feel like you're already established in the National Hockey League. I think that's what makes it so hard. But things get faster, things get tighter, the more teams are aware of you. Things, pucks don't go in as easy, plays don't develop as easy. There's just a little bit of skin that needs to be on those young players. They don't realize it now. But I think Cole is a great example for any young player.
I think he is good for Adam Fantilli, and I'm glad they went back to that because, of course, they had him on that top line with Sean Monahan there for a bit, and Chinakhov was with Fantilli. They flipped it a couple of games ago, and I think I think you're right. It is it's the personal relationship that they have that obviously translates to the way that they play together on the same line on the ice. And as you said, and Adam said this, and Cole has said this too, they root for each other. And if you're going to root for that guy, you're going to make sure that he gets the puck, or he's going to make sure that you get the puck. It's going to be a shared responsibility.
But watch him get in on pucks. Like, he dials it up in the right moments of the game where it's like the speed. He's learning when to use his speed. Like on the forecheck as a winger, you have to be you have to lead the bullet. You got to be the guy that's in first so that everyone else can read off of you, and he's doing that. He's being aggressive. He's jumping, and I just really like that mentality from him that he's figured out quick.
I want to go back to the blue line here because we talked about Werenski and how well he's playing. I think a guy that is, I want to say, kind of quietly doing things is Zach's partner and Ivan Provorov.
Oh, yeah.
And the way that he is playing. I mean, here's a guy that right at the end of training camp, what was it, the last preseason game, they moved him over from the left side to the right side, so he's playing on his offside. Doesn't say a word about it. Doesn't look out of place whatsoever. Logging a lot of minutes, doing a lot of good things. And this is a guy that is on an expiring contract, so you've got to make a decision. Is he going to be somebody you want to re-sign and keep around? Is he somebody that's going to be flipped between now and the trade deadline for assets coming back the other way? And I don't know if he's making the decision tough. I was going to say he's making it tough for Don Waddell, but, tough would be I guess if you definitely know that you're going to sign him, then maybe it's tougher because it's going to cost you more money. But if you have decided the other way, what he's doing is really creating a lot of value for himself and for the Blue Jackets.
It's only going to be tough if they're in a playoff spot. That to me is where the toughness comes in. I think Provorov's aware of the situation. I think that when you look at his value, you look at the teams that are following the Blue Jackets in the press box each night. There are teams that aren't happy with their start. They look at this situation and understand that all the unrestricted free agents are looked at. Corrali's one of the guys that teams will be looking at as well. So that's where you can maybe pick up assets and put your team in a different direction where you want to go. And for Ivan, to play the right side as a left-handed player, watch him in the offensive zone when he goes to pick up the puck on the wall. He has to turn his back to the play. He only sees down the wall, and he's got to get that backhand on the wall to keep the puck and then try to get it on the forehand or try to make a play on the backhand, which is not easy under pressure or being rushed. So he's done a very good job switching sides. And, again, if the team is in a playoff spot, that's when you're going to be like, okay, how do I tell these guys this is what we're going to do this year and trade him? So we'll see. I think that'll be something that'll be going to be watched here very closely the first half of the season.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. And you're right. So it would be a great problem to have.
Yeah, no, that's it.
Great problem to have if you're in a playoff spot and you have to make that kind of decision. Blue Jackets, a couple of days off here in California. Next up is the LA Kings on Saturday night at Crypto.com Arena. We'll be back with more of the Inside Edge presented by First Merchants Bank right after this on 97.1 The Fan.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
I need a small order of sheet metal to repair something in the shop. It's not much, but can you help me out?
At Metal Supermarkets, no order is too small.
Wait, really?
Yep.
What about small home projects?
Yep.
For a car I'm working on?
Yep.
Any kind of metal?
Yep.
Cut to size?
Yep.
With no minimum order?
Yep.
How about 1,000 cut pieces of aluminum flat bar?
Yep. Choose from over 8,000 types, shapes, and grades of metal in any quantity you need. And yes, we're serious. Any metal, any size, ready fast. Locally owned on Wilson Road.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Rise and shine, jabronis.
What a show this morning.
There's only one place where Buckeye legends lay the smackdown. Morning Juice with Bobby and Beamer.
Weekday mornings starting at 6.
Give me a juice box, Beyond.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Thanksgiving can be stressful when you're shopping on a budget. Let Family Dollar help you do more this year with amazing deals on the supplies you need for a great turkey day, from prep to cleanup. See how you could save on Thanksgiving staples like canned soups and veggies, or essentials such as disposable plates and utensils, trash bags, storage supplies, and more. For even greater savings, download the Family Dollar app, clip available offers, and redeem at checkout. Family Dollar, helping you do more.
Finally, fall is here. The leaves are changing, the air is crisp, and the cooler temperatures are a welcome relief. But as those temperatures continue to drop, it's also a reminder that winter is just around the corner. We know it might feel a little early to start talking about freezing temperatures and snow, but now is the perfect time to make sure your roof is ready. Before the winter weather hits, wouldn't you like the peace of mind that your home is protected?
If you're unsure about the condition of your roof or just want to be prepared for the months ahead, call the professionals you can trust at Newman Roofing. With over 30 years in business and 3 generations of Newmans in the roofing industry, we're dedicated to educating you about your roof so you understand exactly what's happening. We believe that an informed homeowner can make the very best decision for their needs. Give us at Newman Roofing a call today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit us online at newmanroofing.com. Let Newman Roofing help you prepare for winter the right way.
Scotty Vegas for Maxima Concrete. From a basic driveway replacement to a complex in-ground pool, patio, or outdoor kitchen installation, Maxima can do it all. Broom finish, stamped and colored, or exposed aggregate concrete, pavers, fire pits, seating walls, even lighting. Maxima is all in-house. Never any subs, so hire the guys that'll actually perform the work. Mention this ad for $250 off your next project. Still plenty of time left this season, so get a free estimate today by visiting MaximaConcrete.com.
Can't get enough Blue Jackets conversation? Good news. It's Hockey O'Clock. It's the Inside Edge with Jody Shelley and Bob McElligott, the Fan Ohio sports destination.
The next Columbus Blue Jackets 50-50 raffle presented by Kemba is now open. The jackpot is already at $10,000. It will continue to roll until the second intermission on Hockey Fights Cancer Night, November 21st. Proceeds from the 50-50 raffle will benefit the fight against pediatric cancer. For rules or to purchase your raffle tickets, visit BlueJackets5050.com. Bob McElligott and Jody Shelley with you here on the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank. Jody, Hockey Hall of Fame inductions are coming up, and there are some very prominent names on the list this year. And let me start with the prominent players that are going to be inducted. Pavel Datsyuk is going in. Shea Weber is going in, and a former San Jose teammate of yours, Jeremy Roenick, is being inducted to the Hockey Hall of Fame. Did you ever think, when you were in the dressing room with Jeremy Roenick, that you were around a future Hall of Famer?
You know what? In a lot of ways, I did. I mean, he's a great American player with putting up goals and being an ambassador for hockey. He's outspoken. He's a wonderful teammate. He's a full personality. I think he impacted the game in so many great ways. You know, at his peak, he was an elite all-star. I mean, he was a guy that you wanted to watch play. He did great things with the Blackhawks. I played with him late in his career. The poor guy was stuck on my line. And I'm happy for him. To answer your question, in some ways, yes. Yeah, I'm really happy for JR. You know, he was in TV. He's out of it. And now he's doing other things around hockey. But to see, I know what it would mean to him. I think that's really where my heart goes, is that for Jeremy Roenick to get that call, he's an emotional guy, and it's wonderful to see him going in.
You had a cast of characters.
Oh, we had a great team. And they're all going back November 22nd. For Joe Thornton's retirement of his jersey, and they're having a Legends game before that. I did get the invite. We play Carolina on that Saturday, and I've just had too much travel, so I don't think I can make it. But got to see Joe yesterday and the day before when we were in San Jose, and it's great to see him. And he said he'd love to have me and give me a couple shifts, but he said maybe I'd be on his line. But
he was trying to sell you hard on it. Yeah. Actually, it was funny.
I just pulled out today. I just can't do it. So it's good, and we did. We had Blake Boyle, Nabokov, Klo, Pavelski, Marlowe, Thornton. We had a really good group of guys. Dougie Murray. It was awesome. We should have won the cup.
Cast of characters.
We had 54 wins, I think, that 09 year.
That's a franchise that I'm going to look at that era of the San Jose Sharks and wonder for a long time, how did the team not win the cup?
Well, they went to the finals in, was it 16, 17? Or no, it was 19. They went to the finals, I think, it was conference finals in 19. They went to the finals, I think, when St. Louis won that was 19. St. Louis won, they went to the conference final, and then I think it was 17. They went to the Stanley Cup final and lost, and that was their greatest push. And they had that team together for so long. They were so lucky.
That was
in the Bay
16.
Area. 16, they went to the finals. So they had that team together so long. The Bay Area, the Shark Tank was rocking every night. That's a loyal fan base. And to see so few fans there last night was just, it's hard to see. But they'll be back. They just, they were spoiled with Marlowe, Thornton, Pavelski for all those years.
Shea Weber going into the Hall of Fame. This is no-brainer.
Well, obviously, yeah. When a guy impacts the game like that, like he did, and such a powerful presence, really was the prototypical defenseman for that time. Big, strong, right-handed shot. He was good to see him go in there. I mean, there's so many guys that aren't in the Hall of Fame. Tkachuk is one of them. These guys that have had great careers that you think of when you think of a team aren't in yet. So John LeClair is not in there. He's a guy with the Flyers. When I think of the Flyers, I think of Lindros, LeClair, and Recchi. Right. And to see Shea Weber go in, it's not a name that would come up first, but to me, yes, makes total sense.
Pavel Datsyuk is the name that would come up right away.
I mean, if the guys in Europe, you ask guys 5, maybe 10 years ago, let's say 5 years ago. No, let's go 10, because now it's been that long. They don't get to watch hockey in real time. They don't watch hockey games because it starts at 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. They would get up and watch YouTube and watch highlights. And who are they going to see the whole time? Pavel Datsyuk. That's who they're emulating. Now it's Kucherov, Crosby, McKinnon, McDavid, all players like that. So, yeah, he was the guy. When you have a guy on the ice that your opponents are marveling at and your teammates are marveling at in practice, work ethic, dedication, skill, yeah, he is a Hall of Famer.
A couple of other guys going in. David Poile, longtime general manager of the Nashville Predators. He was in Washington before he was in Nashville, but he was that original guy in Nashville and held that position until just 2 years ago when he gave up the job to his former first hire as a head coach in Nashville, Barry Trotz, who now is the GM there. But David Poile, he's one of those guys. He's a lifer in the game. Yeah. Great credentials. The Nashville, he didn't win a Stanley Cup with them. He did take them to the final. They lost to Pittsburgh just like the Sharks did. But, all around good guy, hard worker. Good to see him get honored.
Yeah, I mean, so he's so well respected. He's such as you said, a hockey guy. And all these guys, people going in, are dedicated to the sport and the league. So he came up through the minor leagues and worked his way up to be a long-time GM. He was an assistant GM. I feel like any team or any area I've been around in the last 25 years in the National Hockey League, David Poile has somehow coached or been involved in a coach, a player, someone that's been a trainer, whoever it is still in the game. He's touched them in some way because he's really an impactful guy.
Colin Campbell is also being inducted to the Hall of Fame.
He's done it all.
He absolutely has.
I mean, he suspended me when he was with the Department of Player Safety. He was a coach for the New York Rangers there. He won the Stanley Cup there with the Rangers with Mike Keenan. A lifer. I mean, he is a true guy that has dedicated his entire life to the National Hockey League, and now he's running that department as a senior advisor. And I love listening to him talk at the NHL meetings. Yes. He is such a character.
I was going to say, to me, that is the highlight when we have the broadcast meetings.
Him and Walkham.
And they'll come in there, they start talking about rules and enforcement of the rules. And I love, what I will miss is Jack Edwards raising his hand to ask a question of Colin Campbell.
Yes.
I remember one time, this is a true story. This was before I was with the Blue Jackets. I was still in Syracuse, and I went to the broadcast meetings. They used to be in the summertime right before the draft. And I went to, I think it was Montreal. But anyway, Colin Campbell was up there, and he was taking questions, and Jack Edwards raised his hand, and they called on him. And he started talking, and Colin, he's up on the stage. And I was, by the way, being an American League guy, I couldn't believe this was taking place right in front of my eyes. So Colin's up there, he's on at the podium on the stage, and Jack starts talking, and Colin Campbell goes, Jack Edwards, if you had any idea how many times I wish that I could reach through my TV and punch you right in the head. And you know, and everybody laughed.
Yeah.
And I was in shock because I was like, that's the kind of stuff we see on a bus, not at this official meeting. But he is a great guy, as you said, and he's been involved in it all. Coming up next, we'll talk about what's going on in the NHL. A prominent player is returning to the ice after missing some time, and ironically, he missed that time when he was injured playing against the Blue Jackets. We'll tell you who that is and more as we get ready to wrap up this week's edition of The Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank here on 97.1 The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
At Roof Revivers, we save not only your roof, but your money too. Whether you need a quick repair or a full replacement, we've got you covered. While many companies jump straight to replacements, we always start with repairs. Replacements, that's our last resort. We'll provide a clear, detailed explanation of what your roof needs, complete with photos, so you know exactly why. With over 350 five-star reviews on Google, honesty is at the heart of everything we do. Roof Revivers is ready to work for you. Visit roofrevivers.com today. Roof Revivers, we fix leaky roofs.
Hey Columbus, Caden Curry here, Ohio State student athlete for Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. When it comes to hard work, whether on the field or the farm, I need something that's as tough and reliable as I am. That's why I trust Kubota diesel tractors from Green & Sons. Kubota's diesel tractor motors are high-powered, reliable, and don't stop running, just how I like to play. So when you're serious about getting the job done, you need the Kubota equipment you can trust from Green & Sons. Check them out at greenandsons.com or stop by one of their stores in Mount Sterling and in Raymond, north of Marysville.
Hey folks, Austin Ward here, and we all know consistency is key in sports. Think about it. No matter how many points you put up in one game, it's the team that stays consistent that ends up winning a championship. The problem? Consistency is hard. For years, that's how I felt about my weight. I'd start strong, but could never stay the course. Then I found Awaken 180 weight loss, and now consistency isn't just a word, it's my reality. Let's take a look at the scoreboard. After dropping 12 pounds in my first week, I went on to lose 52 pounds total. Lost weight every week. Since then, the scoreboard has read the same every single month. October, 189 pounds. September, 189 pounds. August, 190. Okay, maybe a pound off. July, yeah, 189. The weight just stays off, and for free. Awaken 180 clients don't pay a dime in free maintenance for life. It's like free oil changes for the rest of your life. If you're looking for results that last, do what we all did and choose the solution for weight loss. It's online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Can't make it to the game? Watch the Fan's pre- and post-game shows live on YouTube. Just search 971 The Fan and click subscribe.
The Fan's YouTube channel is sponsored by Coors Light.
Your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan.
Let's talk interest rates. Not that kind of interest. I mean interest in you. At First Merchants Bank, we are 100% interested in your success. Our bankers provide a level of attentiveness unlike any other. We're here to get to know you and to be a helpful partner in your financial success. Aren't you tired of your bank just saying they care about your business? Make the switch to First Merchants Bank and feel the difference of real, honest interest in you. First Merchants Bank. For a better banking experience, visit firstmerchants.com/switch, helping you prosper.
Worthington Steel has been proud to call Columbus home for 70 years. As a value-added steel processor, we enhance the products you use every day. Whether it's cars on the road, combines harvesting food, or transformers and generators providing electricity, Worthington Steel is there, and we are driving steel forward. Learn more about our innovative steel solutions at worthingtonsteel.com. That's worthingtonsteel.com.
As the official security partner of the Columbus Blue Jackets, the local team here at Vector Security is committed to protecting homes and businesses throughout Central Ohio. We live here. Our families eat, shop, and go to school and church in our communities. So we have a vested interest in keeping the homes and businesses of our neighbors safe and secure. Visit vectorsecurity.com/CBJ for a free security assessment that will address your unique needs. That's vectorsecurity.com/CBJ.
Let's talk interest rates. Not that kind of interest. I mean interest in you. At First Merchants Bank, we are 100% interested in your success. Our bankers provide a level of attentiveness unlike any other. We're here to get to know you and to be a helpful partner in your financial success. Aren't you tired of your bank just saying they care about your business? Make the switch to First Merchants Bank and feel the difference of real, honest interest in you. First Merchants Bank. For a better banking experience, visit firstmerchants.com/switch, helping you prosper.
All Blue Jackets, all the time. This is the Inside Edge with Jody Shelley and Bob McElligott. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Getting ready to wrap up this week's edition of the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank. Bob McElligott, Jody Shelley with you. And Jody, tonight, Connor McDavid returns to action for the Edmonton Oilers. He got injured in Columbus last Monday, not this past one, but the one before. All the days, we're already at the point where the days are running together for me. I'm like, I know that game wasn't so long ago, but what day was it?
I thought it was Thursday today, so I got an extra day in my week.
There you go, bonus day.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with your bonus day, Jody, in California?
Relax.
Yeah. But anyway, McDavid got hurt, and he got hurt on his very first shift in that game, left the game against the Blue Jackets. He's coming back tonight. You know, ironically, the Oilers have not been that hamstrung in his absence. They have actually played very well. That's what good teams do. You know, you have to overcome the loss of key players. They have done that, but now they're going to get him back. Speaking of bonuses, that is one for the Edmonton Oilers.
Well, when you have a thoroughbred and you count on him all the time, you play a little different sometimes. You know, the coach gets him out there all the time. Connor get out there. And when he's not in there, sometimes other players get more opportunities. You have to play a little different style. That team with Knobloch, when he came in last year, they became a defensive team first. And they went to the Stanley Cup Finals. They lost to the Florida Panthers. It's heartbreak all summer. They have no chance to get another run at the Cup until May, June, when playoffs start. So you have to go through training camp, preseason, start the season. It's a long season. I think there's more of a hangover for the team that loses a lot of the times than there is for the team that wins. So for them, you combine a lot of stuff. You take out McDavid, Draisaitl steps up, Nugent-Hopkins, Hyman then gets on the board. He went 7 games or something without getting a goal. He had 54 last year. So these are things that all have to shake out. So you don't want to lose Connor McDavid, but only losing him for just over a week where it was 2 to 3 projected. I'm not sure what they did with him, but he's ready to go tonight. The league is better with Connor McDavid, and let's see if he just comes in seamlessly, which I'm sure he will, and impact the team and how they've been playing. But it's like Crosby and Malkin. Remember when Crosby would go out, Malkin would step up, vice versa. Those things happen with good teams, and it's just it's different opportunities, but also having your antenna up a little more.
Yeah, we always talked about that, right? With Malkin always elevated his game when Crosby was out. And, well, you're always the guy that's in that shadow, quite frankly. I mean, Draisaitl's a fantastic player. But you always talk about Connor McDavid when you bring up the Edmonton Oilers. You get to Leon Draisaitl very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give you that. But it's always McDavid, so you get a chance to step into the full spotlight and do that. And that we talk about this all the time. The great players, they thrive on that stuff.
Yeah. Right? Oh, they want to be counted on. Right. Everybody wants to feel important. And not that Leon doesn't feel important, but it's, those are the moments that you live for. And he's a player right now that stepped it up, and that's great when you have that ability.
All right, let's look ahead to the weekend. The Kings will be first up for the Blue Jackets. Right now, the Kings are 8-3-3. They're going to play tomorrow night. They'll be at home against the Canucks. You want to go over and watch that?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think traffic's going to be bad.
Yeah, I think it'll be bad too. We'll just watch on TV. Anyway, the Kings will take on the Canucks before they take on the Blue Jackets. 8-3-3, obviously a good start for the Los Angeles Kings, a team that has, they came into this having a lot of expectations. Last year they didn't like the way that it finished for them. They made some changes over the summer, and they're expecting better things.
Yeah, that's all. You always wonder about the Kings, but last year they got rid of Pierre-Luc Dubois, who had a big contract that they signed here. That they're quick to make changes because they understand. And Doughty is still out. Doughty got lost early in the season, so you kind of wonder what's going on there. Kopitar is right back where he is. They've got some good speed. How about the trade they made a couple years ago with Winnipeg that changed Winnipeg to get Dubois? 3 forwards that they're in the lineup. We just saw the Jets. They are so good. They haven't lost since the game before they played Columbus against the Toronto Maple Leafs.
And Gabe Velarde was really good in that game.
He's a power forward. Yes. I didn't know that about him.
He came from the Kings. Of course, Alex Iafallo came over from the Kings. I remember at the time, I remember you saying, how do you think those guys feel today when you're telling them, guess what, you're leaving L.A. and going to Winnipeg?
Can you stop in my office for a sec? So, yeah, that's, and that trade was, those are big moves, and they aren't afraid to do it, but they understand their core and the pieces around them and some draft picks they have. They've done a really good job there in L.A., and the Pacific's a little bit, it's still hard to figure it out. You know what I mean? Vancouver, they were so good last year. They're now off to a better part of they're playing better. You look at Seattle, what are they? They play hard. Their young guys are developing. They're getting better. When you look at Anaheim, they're still in between. They're getting better. But there's no one's really grabbing it. But now the Kings have slowly picked it up a little bit, and it's still wide open, I think, in the West.
Yeah, you talk about Anaheim. They're obviously in the same kind of situation that the Blue Jackets are, trying to build through the draft the last couple of years, trying to tweak some things, become better. And that one on the second half of the back-to-back coming up on Sunday afternoon, which is pretty much the norm when you come out here. You know you're going to get those
we just talked about that. Yeah, Vancouver, Seattle back-to-back, and usually Anaheim, L.A.
Right. And we usually, not always, but we usually seem to get L.A. or Anaheim on the second day.
Yeah.
So,
which is good for Anaheim.
That's good. Late Sunday afternoon. Yeah, good for Anaheim. But anyway, it's but again, a good trip for the Blue Jackets here. It started off a little bit disappointing, only getting 1 point instead of 2 last night. But what did you say earlier in the show? If you get 5 points would be
I think 5 would be good. I mean, obviously, you want to get greedy and get 6. Or you want 8, of course, but that's not going to happen now. So I think if you can get 5, you go home happy. And, you get ready for Pittsburgh. You take them down. Then you go to Montreal. There's some winnable games there on the back end, and all of a sudden you look, if you get 5 points here, keep that 1 point above 500, and then kind of stack on that in situations. But I feel like that would be a good trip.
Yeah, I think it would be a great trip if you could pull 5 out of this. Just you're going to, and it'd be great to just get 2 on Saturday, right? If you're trying to get 5. If you lose on Saturday, now you're going, oh boy.
Yeah.
Now we're really pressuring.
No, you got to get 2.
Yeah. Saturday's a very important game for the Blue Jackets against the Los Angeles Kings. All right, Jody, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day in California.
Thanks, Bob. You too. Hope to see you around somewhere.
All right. That's Jody Shelley. I'm Bob McElligott. Thanks for joining us here on the Inside Edge. Again, the Blue Jackets will be playing on Saturday against the Los Angeles Kings. That's a game that will face off at 9 o'clock Eastern Time back in Columbus. So make sure you join us for that. Until then, that'll do it for the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank. Thanks for listening to us here on 97.1 The Fan.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Patriot Air Comfort Systems and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan.
Pizza lovers, listen up. We're not that cheesy, but this deal is. For a limited time at Speedway, get 2 big pizza slices and your favorite Coca-Cola 20-ounce for only $5 with Speedy Rewards. And we got even more, like flavors galore. Okay, maybe we are a little cheesy. Choose between classic 3-cheese, crispy pepperoni, or extreme meat pizza. Save big on 2 pizza slices and your favorite Coca-Cola 20-ounce. Get the $5 meal deal with Speedy Rewards. Only at Speedway. Valid through 1/7/25. See app for full terms.
Okay, name? Occupation? Great, you get a brand new Kia. For less than lunch, under $5 a day at Great Lakes Kia.
Is that a turkey?
Of course, we're talking turkey. With event pricing and the Credit Approve-a-thon.
Wow, and new Kias are less than lunch?
Yes, under $5 a day. Lease new 24 Kia Forte LXS, EV6 Wind, and Sorento LX. All 3 under $5 a day.
Wow, that's only $139 a month for 24 months.
Plus new 24 Kia Telluride LX under $8 a day.
$249 for 24 months.
He just got an EV6 with 0% financing.
Lucky goose.
Turkey.
Turkey, right. But I'd never get approved.
If you've got a job, you ride.
You guys are great.
Great cars, great people. Great Lakes Kia.
In Columbus.
GreatLakesKia.com.
GreatLakesKia.com.
You're such a ham.
To qualified buyers, visit GreatLakesKia.com for details.
Martha was ready to switch to a career in IT.
There's always a need for IT specialists, especially with AI coming out and cybersecurity. It's practically recession-proof.
My Computer Career even provides job placement help.
The career specialists, they're very helpful. They care about you as a person. You're not just a number to them. I would recommend My Computer Career wholeheartedly to anyone.
Take the free career evaluation today. Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It's all about seeking solutions. We take your concerns to the people in power, and we hold them accountable for both their answers and their actions. It's not just about breaking the story and being the first to tell it. It's about breaking that story and being the first to get it right.
Trust is something that's not given, it's earned. And at 10 TV at 6, we are going to give you the most accurate information, and we're going to give it to you straight.
Seeking solutions. This is 10 TV News at 6 and streaming on 10 TV Plus.
Welcome to Reverse Aesthetics. Our medical weight loss program includes popular medications like semaglutide and tirzepatide, both of which are supercharged by our body sculpting treatments. For only $2.99 per month, under the supervision of our board-certified medical doctor, Reverse Aesthetics can help you achieve your weight loss goals while tracking progress quarterly. We have plenty of inventory and can begin treatment within 48 hours of your consult. Schedule now at reverse-aesthetics.com or call us at 614